Now bring it back around.
Рядом со мной находится разработчик игры Alex, Amadeus. Hello, Amadeus.
Hello.
So can you please tell about Alex?
Elex is an open world role-playing game, like our previous games, Gothic and Risen. But we wanted this time we wanted to do something different. We make fantasy games for almost 20 years now, and we just wanted to mix it up. We wanted to do something else. Not completely. We still make like the typical Piranha Bytes role-playing game, but in a completely new, different setting. So we came up with our own setting. I call it the Elex setting, but you can break it down to like a post-apocalyptic, science, fantasy, mashup setting. Maybe a bit of backstory about the setting. It's like 160 years ago, a meteor crashed down on a planet and destroyed nearly everything. That's like the post-apocalyptic part of the game. In that meteor was a new element, a new substance, and that element is called Elex. And Elex is kind of our common ground for all those settings, because you can use Elex as a power source to fuel jetpacks, to build robots, to build laser rifles and stuff like this. But you also can consume Elex. And if you consume Elex, you gain strong magical powers. So this is like Elex is like our binding element for this game to make it a coherent world.
То есть это какой-то микс постапокалипсиса, где смешалась техника, магия и так далее.
Yeah, exactly.
Что нового, чем отличается Alex по механике игры от остальных RPG?
As I said, you can do a lot with Elex, and Elex is that stuff in the world which everyone wants. So Elex is also our currency in the game, for example. You have to pay with it because every faction in the game wants Elex, because you can do so much with it. But everyone uses it differently. So the Berserkers use it, they purify it, they consume it, and they cast magic spells with it. The Clerics, another faction of our game, they say our bodies stay pure. We only use it for machines and as fuel. And you have the Outlaws, the third faction in our game. They say fuck it, we make drugs out of it. So they will get go rogue and build like rocket launchers with it, or chainsaws, or as I said, drugs to get faster, better, stronger, stuff like that.
Насколько игра будет дружелюбна для новичков в жанре RPG? Насколько сильный порог вхождения?
Yeah, probably yes. The game is quite hard, especially in the beginning. We wanted to do this because we believe if you have a hard start, it's also more rewarding if you finally get that strong hammer and you can kill all those monsters who just beat your ass like for the past 4 hours. But of course we have like an easy difficulty mode for the people who only want to experience the story, but I would advise against it, because it's just so much cooler to experience it, to really get stronger and stronger, and work yourself upwards from the guy who can do nothing to the guy who is just God, kind of. But to become God, you have to play like an awful lot. You have to play like 100 hours or more. So yeah, it will be hard to get there.
Для того, чтобы быть отличным игроком в Alex, необходимы ли какие-то навыки, например, математический склад ума, или, собственно, играть в него может каждый, да, потому что RPG это часть, ну, такие трайхардовые RPG, это, ну, довольно сильная нагрузка, когда человеку надо что-то вычислять, да, понимать, какие характеристики лучше, как лучше поступить и так далее.
Skills as a player or in game?
As a mathematical guy, yeah.
Yeah.
So you need a technical vision of the world.
As a player, you don't need that. As the player character in the game, yes, you do. So if you level up, for example, you get skill points, you get learning points, and then you can learn stuff like you can level up your intelligence or your strengths and stuff like this. So if you want to learn how to craft potions, you need a lot of intelligence, stuff like this. So not in the real life, but in the game.
Я понял. Сейчас есть такая тенденция, когда разработчики выпускают более казуальные игры, чтобы привлечь большую аудиторию. Не боитесь ли вы, что из-за сложности Элекса часть аудитории, попробовав игру, она не будет продолжать дальше играть?
Not afraid, no, because we don't think the players are stupid. They can figure it out, and we just have to trust that the player will figure it out. I think there's a lot of tendencies at the moment with games like, let's say, Dark Souls or all those top-down RPGs who are coming out right now, like Pillars of Eternity and stuff like that. So that there is a market for hard games. Games you really have to put time into and to understand the mechanics of the game, because we think if you do that, the game is all the more fun. But of course, you're right. Someone who's used to just play high-polished AAA games from America, it might get tricky. It's not the game for everyone. We have but we think our fans will love it. So we made it for our fans.
Можете ли вы описать целевую аудиторию вашей игры? То есть сколько лет этому человеку, чем он увлекается и так далее?
That's really hard to say, because our target audience is mainly the people who played our previous games, and mainly the people who especially like Gothic, because Gothic and Risen was like especially Risen 2 and 3 were like the more easier games than Gothic. Gothic was more hard, and we really have a lot of people and a lot of letters who wrote us and said, "Hey, we want to have that old school feeling again. That I want to master a game." So that is kind of our target audience. We don't make like huge market analysis and say, okay, we need people from 12 to 13 and only people who like Star Wars, for example. We don't do that. We just have, we do what we sell, what we think is fun, what we like ourselves. So.
Будет ли в игре доступен кооперативный режим?
No, not at all.
Only single.
Only single player, yeah. It's a complete single player experience. We want to give the player this huge open world where you can just explore, roam around, and just find stuff behind every corner. So you really get sucked into that world. But you can't do that in multiplayer, because in multiplayer you're always like on TeamSpeak or Skype, you're talking to other people, and to really immerse the player in multiplayer is really hard. So we said, okay, we don't want this at all, we just make it single player.
И последний вопрос, насколько сильно проработана кастомизация персонажа, насколько его можно изменить по своему желанию, подстроить индивидуально под себя?
We actively decided against it to have a customization in the game, because the main plot is about the past of that specific character, and we wanted to tell a story about that character. So we said, okay, don't give the player the options to change anything. The only thing is you can change it in the while you're playing. So if you choose a faction, then you will get different armor, you will get different weapons, you will get a different skill tree. Every faction has their own skill tree. So the customization is in the game, kind of, and not in front of the game.
Yeah, thank you, Andreas, very much.
Thank you.